your friends, wherever you want to. Just a minute. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. Okay, got it. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
And I'm sharing here. Where is the chat? I'm not finding the chat.
It's at the bottom.
Someone can post it in community also. In our community, or I don't know wherever. So, so I said it, and now technical things. Okay, done. So I welcome you all, and Malabika, Pavel, Marvin, Chinu, and people are to come. We are here to listen some story, and I will begin give you the fundamentals of little bit background of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. We started our journey. We were in sadhana finance part, and we started our journey with very much enthusiastic, the desire to purify ourselves, having trust in God, surrendering to God, having faith in God, and with a proper self-inquiry, who I am really, what is my potentiality, why I am born, what is my meaning and purpose. Let's explore. We start very nicely, everyone. After some time, we start to face nobody else but the self. And we think it is the person, it is the world outside which is giving me so much negativity. I am such a nice person, always happy and good and potential Buddha. Potential Buddha. Almost reached, just a little bit impurities there which I can resolve anytime. But here, lo, we start and it starts to expand one by one. The obstacles which we meet, and we call it penance, I would like to clarify you one very fundamental concept, which is also misunderstood concept about the penance. We think penance means we think we must suffer. Unless we suffer, unless we have pain, we cannot wake up. In a way, it's true. Nobody wakes up in a nice dream. Everybody wake up when it's a horror show in the dream. Then there is no way just to be wake up. Okay, this is a natural instinct level protection. Instinct, on the basic of instinct, that even if there is a fear of death in your dream, you will wake up. Even you are not conscious. And in dream, even if you feel danger to your life, you wake up. Well, we also wake up in extreme crisis or extreme sorrow or too much pain and suffering. There is a chance of waking up with the shock. When we see, oh, there is no way I can protect my ego system anymore, that time we wake up because I is collapsing. So we have obstacles. Many Hatha yogis, they create purposefully, they create sufferings. And they call it penance, not to sleep, not to go in a dream. Because if your body is in a painful state, it's very difficult to dream or create some conjectures in your mind. Yes, you can create a conjecture that, yes, a little bit more pain, suffering, and I am almost free of all sufferings. And I will become enlightened, and there will be no suffering in my life at all. With this hope, we create suffering. But what is the science? What actually is the science? What is the transcendental point where we are no more an animal? We suffer because we sense somewhere we are animal. We try to differentiate, we try to evolve culture that no, we are not animal, we are human, evolved. Well, some people more than human, they are divine souls, different. But where we are suffering, as a meditator, when we walk on the path, we don't like to identify with the animals. They are just having sex, producing children, and alive with food, afraid of fear of death. Each animal, you see, they cannot even eat properly. They are always conscious. Somebody will take away my food. Somebody might attack. That's the jungle law. Every creature is the food of some creature. And each creature has to be highly alert to protect its food, to protect the family, and anytime if it is lazy, gone. We carry it somehow. We think we are human, but we behave like animal. And when we are initiated in path of meditation, spiritually, we know we identify with Buddha, no? Jesus, Mahavira. Our ego is identified with angels, with divine grace to bless. Our ego doesn't want to identify with the animal, but this is klesha. This we call affliction. Whether you want it, you don't want it, you have it. So when we say, okay, transcendent, how to transcend it? So you see, this is jiva. We call it jiva. Means pleasure, it's moving. For food, for sex, for protection, to be with the same kind of people. Elephant with elephant, jackal with jackal, same. Dog with dog, cat with cat. And avoiding fear of, avoiding death, avoiding difficulties, finding way and creative solution for our food, sex, and the family protection. And this instinct, when we follow the path of spirituality, we encounter. Technically, we call it abhinivesha, self-preservation, one of the kleshas, abhinivesha. So what to do about it? Should we create purposefully some difficulties in our life? Or purposefully I go in jungle, live there, encounter my fear of death? So this is, we call level of instinct. As a meditator, when we don't choose, neither pleasure nor pain, nor consciously create, then only we can transcend. We are not choosing it, neither pleasure nor pain. So we choose one path. I go for enlightenment. in spite of pleasure and pain. Not creating. I am neither creating pleasure for myself nor creating pain for myself. I'm not choosing either of the situation to wake up. But I remain on my path, and in spite of pleasure and pain, I keep on moving at one path. This is one of the transcendental, not creating it. Because suffering is already there. We don't have to create it. We are already suffering with it. So this abhinivesha is we call instinct level first obstacle, and this is also the last obstacle. It exists even in enlightened people. This fear of death. This is not so easy on the level of instinct. We move forward, we evolve, or we don't pay attention. We say, oh, I am out of this pain and pleasure. I can meditate. No? I can sit every day. I have my time. I can sit every day for meditation. Doesn't matter whatsoever, pain or pleasure. So this is the one way to transcend instinct, which is not easy. We have the stories in our scriptures, people meditating thousands of years, almost equal to God, and they can fall for instinct. Hunger, thirst, or sex, or self-preservation. All three comes as a self-preservation. So this is one way. Every meditator encounters it. Then we evolve a little bit more. We come to our emotional realm. In emotional realm, we face two obstacles. One, to the person we love, be emotionally attached. Means a person is happy, I am happy. A person is sad, I am sad. One. Simple way. And it's a mathematics. No, Patanjali is a mathematician in a way. And the opposite of it. Emotional, opposite. A person, some person, we are detached. Or opposite. Abhorrence. The person is sad, I am happy. And person is happy, I am sad. Two ways. They both are the same. We get caught in our emotional realm. Another, and technically we call it rag and dvesh. That is emotional. Okay, we somehow get emotionally enlightened. We grow up with our emotional intelligence. If I love someone, my son, my wife, my husband, my friend, person got some problem, we remain calm and quiet, approach with our centeredness, and support the person. We think, oh, I am evolved. I am evolved. I am evolved. So now meditation is working. Then sometimes it goes opposite. Oh, my neighbor is suffering. I feel very happy. But at the same time, guilt. Oh my God, I'm a Buddha. And I am happy because somebody is sick. No, let's transcend it. Wrap a gift, do something. And in spite of myself, and go and help the person, which I should never help. Okay. It gives really emotionally freedom. I'm not emotionally bound, emotionally free. Emotional freedom. Well, afflictions not ending. We transcend three, we come to our intelligence. Now, after emotional intelligence, after instinct, we don't find nobody is hooking up me with my sexual desires. I can transcend. I am not jumping on food. I can easily watch my hunger, thirst, sex, and even somebody shoot me right now, I'm ready to die. I don't care. Okay, I'm fully free. Instinct, emotionally free. And then what about my intelligence? Can I drop it? What? No, 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 no. So on emotional, intellectual or intelligence level, what we meet? Egoism. Very simple. Egoism is we get attached to our own intelligence. Intelligence is an instrument of knowledge. Mind is an instrument. Our intelligence is our instrument to know something. So this attachment with our own instrument, our own intelligence and mind, we get attached, which is giving us solutions. And it's very nice to attach, very easy to attach. Technically, we call it asmita. And one more, let me check. One more is there. Avidya. That's I forgot. Avidya is lack of ignorance, but this is ignorance, no? This is in a way also ignorance, but it's separate. So spiritual ignorance is real knowledge of who you are as your Godhood. Or we can also see ignorance in a way. A lot of definitions. Ignorance is the, you can say, mistake. Mistake is like something is black, you see it as white. It's a mistake. Or vision is not correct. Like we become friends and we think, oh, forever we will be friends. Forever you will love me, forever I will love you. But it doesn't work. So what we did, permanent, we take something as a very permanent, which was a transient feature. So mistaking it for its own opposite. Something we thought it's very spiritual, it's not spiritual. So mistaking it. And in that mistake, we thought it will bring a lot of pleasure and it brought a lot of pain. So mistaking it. These are 5 obstacles we all meditator has to pass through. Sometimes we struggle with our own instincts, sometimes with our own emotions, and sometimes we struggle with our own intelligence. Our own intelligence becomes a disease. And it becomes a cause of affliction and suffering. So these are the 5. Patanjali says, whatever the affliction, defines it, each one properly, proper definition. And answer, he says, 1, meditation. Now, this meditation, you can do many ways. Meditation, quick meditation, whole life. So this meditation, we can only explain in a different tone what it is. I can give you techniques to deal with. And Patanjali is giving a lot of techniques. As a sadhana, he will give us 8-fold path. In Samadhi, he gives a lot of techniques, sudden enlightenment techniques to deal with anyone very quick. But in sadhana, he takes it very gradual, very proper, and defining each one which a meditator comes across. There could be many afflictions, but categorically we are going to the minimum. We are not expanding it, we are minimizing it. Not something on instinct, some on emotional, and some on intellectual, and one you can call it ignorance, which even you can call it at the level of soul, like that. Yeah. Also, not to confuse you, Patanjali uses evolution and involution, 2 words. They are very confusing for people. They say evolution of consciousness. It's a word. What do we mean by it? We mean by it that I am working for my consciousness to evolve to bring a Buddha consciousness, kind of, or Jesus consciousness. Or I'm transforming it to the love, loving consciousness. So, but here, technically, we use the word involution. One is evolution and one is involution. So, not to confuse. Evolution, we mean here material aspect of it. From Prakriti, from nature, a soul is there, a Purusha is there, and this nature is evolving, expanding. That we call it evolution process. That it keep on expanding, and we get born, we get flowered, we manifest our potentiality, we work in the world, and we call it evolving. I am evolving, evolution. So this expansion process, ad infinitum, we call it evolution. That basically means the material aspect of it. And here we call it involution. That is typical from India. It doesn't exist in any other philosophy, this term. It is Indian. That's where India differs from the concept of moksha, liberation, going beyond the cycle of life and death. And here Patanjali using the same sense, involution, which Buddha will use in the sense of nirvana. So this nirvana is not evolution. You finished. You disappeared. You didn't find anything. It was all illusion. It was all depending upon each other and giving you a feeling as a gestalt that something is there. So here involution, Patanjali used strictly in one term. We are this expansion process, interesting in expansion of this ego, area of influence. Then comes a soul is so evolved that it desires not to expand anymore and returns back to the source. Returning back to the source from where you have come, your origination. So this we call involution, pratiprasam, against movement. Patanjali using a lot of against. Not like if I have thought of hating someone, I can counter this thought with loving someone. Not opposite. So Patanjali uses opposite to reduce the suffering. Many techniques he uses, mind techniques. Here, involution also used in the same way. When your expansion process ends and you are no more interested in taking more birth for your expansion, done. And you return back, you are returning back to the soul. Means going to the home of the God. In a way, to make it simple. He calls it involution is pratiprasam. Prati means against. And prasam means giving birth. So no more birth. No more expansion. Returning back to the source. To your original face. To your originality. Not expansion. It's becoming molecular. You are becoming tiny. Not expanding. So not to be confused, just to give you the terminology. So we started our journey as a meditator, encountering these 5 afflictions. There could be a lot, but he sum up in 5, deal with at least 5. So Patanjali way of saying it, you will encounter a lot of issues in your life. Do not boggle. Take the main points and see from where your suffering is related to. Are you suffering on instinct level? Are you suffering with your emotional level? Or are you suffering on intellectual level? Or you are suffering with soul ignorance. Yeah, ignorance means you are interested in expanding yourself, not returning to the source, which has all the wisdom. This God, he calls it God, which has the seed of all the knowledge, everything contained into that. So will you return there? So once you start to return there, he calls it inward journey. not expanding, but contracting. So he doesn't use the word expansion and contraction. He used the word involution. Evolution, you are out. Involution, you are going inside, returning to the source. A technical term where many people get confused just by words. So not to get confused. Same example like Buddha, nirvana. Involution. Finished. Patanjali uses here jiveshana, libido, desire to live. But not in a negative way, not in a pessimistic way, that you are suffering and you say, no, I don't want to live anymore. This is not in a suffering way. You have transcended yourself. And then you come to a point, oh, it's all happening with this libido. And that's the root of ignorance. And libido is an expansion process. You take involution. You say, no, my desire to live is no more there because I have lived, I have seen, I have understood. In Buddhism way and other tantric discipline, they will begin with the first discipline. Drop all the expectation from this world. And then sit silent. Yama. If you are interested in Netra Tantra, tantric discipline, I have Netra Tantra in English and Hindi. And you will find the definition of yama, not like Patanjali, 5 yamas and 5 niyama. 1 yama, 1 niyama. And first yama of tantric discipline is dropping expectation from this world completely. Eternally. This is eternal virati, eternal detachment from this world. Not even a single expectation you have that this world is worth giving me something. And then you can sit silent. Yama. This is yama. And then niyama, this tantric way. Patanjali way, we will come across 5 yamas. So here we are, as a meditator, relate with yourself. Listen, Malabika, come out with some of your insight, how you handle it.
I'm smiling because I'm hearing you say, let go of all expectations. And I'm thinking in my head, good luck with that. So, one of the things that you started off by saying that here we are, the sadhak, my intention I have said is that I'm going to purify myself so I can meet the Buddha.
Yeah.
And that is true, I'm sure, for a lot of seekers. But the story I've been saying is that I didn't start out with such a noble intention that, I want to reach the highest realm. I am doing life. I want to be happy. I want to be peaceful. I want to have a sense of fulfillment with what I do. And these silly things keep getting in the way. And so how do I get past this? It was pretty short-sighted. But in that first session, I did share that now looking back, I see that there was a hand over my head which always told me, all right, now go this way. Seek this, try this. This is the sadhana you need to do now, which will take you past that. So that has been a source of great relief, knowing I don't have to worry too much. If as soon as I have a recognition that, look, these expectations are pulling me down, not giving me that satisfaction of life that I'm wanting to, then you say, okay, the sadhana is now let these expectations go. And if we are able to do that, and then we carry on again merrily till the next lesson comes along, we don't have to strive for the lesson. And this is where, I wanted to talk about the emotional body, what you're saying, the instinct within us, which is such a powerful element. So when we come here, that seed of who we are, that is really starts to sprout in the second, the Swadhisthana, the seed of the self. And we have this idea of who I am, and our emotions are very reactive. It's not like I can decide in advance, so I'm not going to get angry. When you get angry because something came in front of you, and immediately your fear is awakened. And ultimately, of course, we know that the fear is nothing but fear of death. But there are so many stages, especially now as modern human beings, we have so many layers to that pathway. But whenever I have a reaction to something outside of me, which brings up a bad feeling, which is instinctive, like, oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way this person said this, or I don't like the way that you are betraying me now. You promised all this, but you're not living up to that. I think what becomes imperative at that point of time, there are two ways of responding to it. I lash out, as you said, I get happy. Okay, you're suffering. Good for you. Serves you right. Or I have to ask myself, if I'm the sadhak, is that why is this upsetting me? What is it? Which of those doshas, the kleshas that I have to really go in and investigate, which is bringing up this? Is it an expectation? Is it my ignorance? Is it my unwillingness to move forward? Is it my lack of interest in life? Am I pushing? Which one is operating over here and why? And that is right in the beginning, you had said you have to have self-query. There is no movement forward without that query. And what I have learned over the years is that whenever something makes you feel unhappy, that's a red flag, which is like ding, 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 your next lesson is here. Don't go away, don't react, don't push it away. I mean, you can temporarily, because if it is giving you too much unhappiness, for a while, yes, take a little rest, move a little away, but don't think that once it has shown in your face, it shows in front of us exactly when that lesson is the next lesson in the curriculum we are ready to learn. And if we don't have the patience or the understanding or the insight to look at that deeply and do the self-inquiry, which is like, what is it that's making me feel bad about this? And things will come up about myself, that your expectation, your attachment. Can I let go of this attachment? Having gone through this, multiple times in many iterations, right in the beginning, it feels like, I don't know, because it's not just me. I am connected to the collective mind, the social norms, the ancestral, whatever is in my DNA. You belong to this culture and this ancestry. We are like this. All that is unsaid. It's in the subconscious and the unconscious mind. You don't even know it's sitting there, but it's there, and we have to deal with it. Thanks for coming, Shiba. Nice to see you. So what happens is, from that awareness, and that is where that expansion of, the ignorance starts to diminish and the expansion of the awareness starts to happen. So this is what I have learned, and I teach my students and my clients, is that this emotional reaction to life is a very precious thing, because within that is the seed or the lesson of which direction you have to look now. How do you deal with it? And mind you, it's not easy. I mean, let go of your expectation, as I said, good luck with that, is easier said than then I have to go back inside and further inquire, like, so why do I have this expectation of this person? And then it will start layer by layer uncovering, because you are dependent on him to pay your rent. Without him or without her, whoever it is, you will not be able to do this. Why would I not be able to do this? Because you don't trust yourself, because you have not learned, you have not spent enough of your life force to get certain skills that are required for you to move forward. You have been dependent on this other person. This is codependency. You have to let it go. And the beautiful part, which I have understood and I have learned over a period, is that as soon as that awareness comes, oh, this is not working for me anymore on my path. It is blocking my path. It is making me unhappy. My emotion is telling me, you are feeling unworthy, you're feeling useless, because the mind and the emotional planes, they work very much together. What happens is as soon as something makes me unhappy, the mental body is up in arms, defensive. Somebody is to blame. Who made you feel like this? How dare they? Pick up the sword. Go and fight. You do that initially when we are young and stupid. We do it and then realize that that's not taking me anywhere. It's taking me down the slippery slope. So I have to stop that and ask myself why. And what can I do to get past this? And one keeps coming back to this, at least in my journey. I have kept coming back to this, saying, there is a belief about myself, which the ego is kind of, both a friend and a foe, depending on where you are at a particular time. There is a belief that in this ego is that I am not enough. I cannot do beyond this. I don't have the strength, the time, the money, the resources, or some such thing. There is a limitation within which I am working, and that limitation is creating these knee-jerk emotional reactions to my outer world. And the moment I identify the limitations and I go like, all right, this is the belief I need to let go. This is the expectation that I need to let go. I'm not sure exactly how I will do it, but all I can do today is set an intention that I'm ready to let this go. Whatever it takes, however it takes, because it is not serving me, it is making me unhappy, it's not helping me grow. And the moment I have discovered we set that intention, that hand over the head, that picks up that signal saying, okay, she's ready to let it go. Let her show the way. Let us show her the way. All right, here is a course, go and listen to Sri Niranjan. He will give you some tools because he's a scholar, you're not. So he'll give you some tools from wherever, Ramcharitmanas, from Patanjali, which will give you some ways to move past. But ultimately, it is going to be your process of evolution, your process of involution, according to what I just heard, going deep inside to be able to say, I don't need this anymore. I don't need this codependence anymore. I can meditate and be one with the oneness, and that energy, that understanding, that deep sense of self, solid, comes and gets expanded. The emotional body, it's also a little bit of a trickster. When you're least expecting something like this, it'll suddenly show up with a feeling that overwhelming. And it works both ways. It works both ways because most of the time, it will show our limitations and fears, whether that be at a psychological level or at a physical level, but it also shows us the pathway to that which will take us to our expanded self. So that's the excitement. I hear a piece of music and it's like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Where did that come from? I want to have more of that. Or I hear somebody speak, or I read a poem, or I read a book. It's like, this is so exciting. That is also an emotional reaction to which the mental body responds by saying, oh, good, you like this, we'll get you some more of that. You can go onto the internet and find it. And then you do that. So it works both ways. But the one that is uncomfortable, which is not showing me an expanded version of myself, is the one that I really need to contemplate. Because when I do that, I'm not doing it just for myself. I am doing that for the collective. So there used to be a time I used to get very upset when anybody said anything to me which had this underlying tone of misogyny, putting women down, even jokes, making jokes about, men are superior, women are not. It used to irk me a lot. And then I realized that I have personally rarely ever come across any kind of mistreatment because I'm a woman, but it's always been a social thing. And so when I am teaching my clients, when I am behaving in a way to transcend that, superior, inferior, and it happens both ways. Even women do it. Men do it, men do it to women do it to men. It's like a blah, blah, blah. It's like a tennis match. But when you get out of that game, you realize it's not just you. You have to teach your daughters and your granddaughters. You have to teach your neighbors and your students. You have to teach whenever you are out there somewhere, you have a reach to a large number of people, you will always remain absolutely honorable, respectable to all the genders. So those are the skills one develops. Because why? Because at some point of time, my wonderful Swadhisthana emotional body jumped up and said, oh, that's not good. That is insulting. I hate it. I have to do something about it. Now, of course, most of the world will say, that fellow is a very bad fellow. He thinks like this. He behaves like that. We should push him away. I will not have anything to do with him. It doesn't solve the problem. You push him away today, tomorrow 5 others will show up with exactly the same thing. That's not the solution. The solution always comes from deep inside. Saying, how am I going to change? And the other wonderful thing I've discovered along the way is that when we change our vibrations, the people we attract are never of that lower vibration anymore. They're all of higher levels of vibration, the people who come. There is an attractor field, I think, in the auric field, which invites people who will only add, who will not take away. And if they're trying to take something away or make you feel bad, that's also a gift. Because now they're going like, ding, 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 Malabika, you have not noticed. You have some stuff to clean up over here. So that has been the gift of the emotional body, and knowing that the mind and the emotion work together like a pair of twins. One is always looking, has the back of the other. And so, the intelligence, which is the mental body, which is always trying to figure out, how do I protect the inner child? What do I need to learn? What resources do I need? And that is what you're talking about, the emotional intelligence, which is absolutely essential, paramount to our everyday living, whether it's the personal life, professional life, or out in the world. We have to develop that. And if we have not been able to attend to that, then it is time we do. Stop there right now.
Okay, so this is my idea was that if you will speak from your point of view, it will be a different story, because I will come with a fundamental way, defining mind, like we call it instinct, emotion, intellectual. We are categorizing it, because without categorization, we cannot talk. Actually, it's one body, but we need to divide it just to talk. Here, I would like to tell you mind. How to we deal with mind in yoga is the mind which binds us, is the mind which will liberate us. It works in both the ways. Through the mind, we are in bondage. And if you use the same mind in a different way, meditative way, it will liberate us. So we are not condemning here mind. And according to emotions, we believe here the Indian way is in karma. Karma we divide in three parts. One fully asleep, one partially active, and one is fully active. One is fully active, like right now in the present moment. One is partially active, it's pushing from inside, instigating. And one you are not aware at all. They are fully dormant. They can pop up anytime. So becoming ready, like mind is always ready to deal with anything which can pop up. We never know. Life is going very smooth, and suddenly things change. No? Things changing here means important things like your job, your wife or husband, your house, your near and dear death and birth. This kind of important chapters in life, which gives you a completely, forces you to think in a completely new way. So a meditator is ready to deal with anything, anytime. And most of all, a meditator, sadhak, is always ready to begin with zero. However height you think you have achieved, but you can come to zero anytime. And you should be ready to move forward. And mind is a thing, mind can bind us. And if you use properly, same mind will liberate us. Here, because here our mind is attached fully with our consciousness. We cannot differentiate. Usually people cannot differentiate with their mind and consciousness, chitta. Cannot differentiate. And here, even in this, so this mind and what we do, all the answers are hidden in meditation. Meditation, everyone can reach to a state of meditation where one person is able to resolve any kind of conflict you are facing. But don't think it is the end of it. Because karmas are three, one dormant, fully asleep, we don't know, you are completely unconscious about it. One, you are semi-conscious in the process of coming up, and one is fully in front of you in the plate. You are eating it. So anything can happen anytime, any kind of karmas can come up, any situation may change. We deal with it with our own mind, and the answer is in meditation. Meditation as a final part, as an enlightenment, is a very strict way, just pure witness. Here, pure witness, fully impartially looking at yourself. Like if something happens between me and Marian or me and Malabika, so I'm emotionally get disturbed, possibly. So in that situation, watching yourself impartial, observer, waking up, observer. So here meditation is become impartial observer, and your mind, which is movement, which is taking a movement, will stop. And in that flash, which you call intuition, this is called intuition. A flash is there, which gives you a path, a way to move forward, or gives you a solution.
The question I have is this, is I understand, meditation. There are multiple ways of meditating. So I'm just thinking of a scenario where something has happened. Let's say I've had a big fight with somebody I love, and I'm very angry and upset and agitated. And I sit down and I tell myself, you know what, I'm just going to meditate till I get past this thing. Uh, to me, at that time, the meditation is allow all those thoughts and feelings to come through. Don't push it away because it doesn't work. And why?
Yeah.
And so when you are meditating on that and you are allowing all those thoughts, how terrible I have been, what kind of a person am I, and how terrible that person has been, and why are they doing this to me, and all blah, 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 all that goes on till it quietens down. So would you comment on something like that?
Look, Malabika, meditation and meditation techniques. Even if you are reading Patanjali, he is defining meditation technique for different kind of people. He divides in level of being. One is very high evolved, have already attained samadhi, enlightenment. For him, different kind of meditation. For a meditator, like just beginning, he will give different kind of meditation. So meditation as a technique can be many.
Mm-hmm.
And meditation as a technique can be customized.
Right.
Can be tailored according to situation, according to person, according to their lifestyle, according to the mental capability and evolution of consciousness. So
Correct.
wherever the person is, a technique can be improvised. So technique is a different phenomenon, where technique will lead you to a state of mind where you will have clarity and resolve of conflict. That is the job of meditation. Techniques, depending on the guru, depending on the person, depending, many things are dependent. Right? But universal techniques like Vipassana.
The reason why I brought this up is I understand what you're saying, that depending on what are we dealing with, the meditation technique will vary. Because when I speak to some of my clients, a lot of them will say, I'm so upset I can't even meditate. So then I have to explain to them that there is no one single way of meditation. We are looking at going inside and just watch what's going on inside you. Don't deny it. So this is where I think some clarity is needed.
See, meditation and also nice Malabika meditative therapies.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you need to demarcate meditation and meditative therapies. Okay. Like yoga we do. But nobody is doing yoga for enlightenment or samadhi or to stop birth and death and transcend time and space. No, people doing yoga as a therapy. They have knee problem, they have lower back problem, they have cervical, they have blood pressure, they have migraine, they have a lot of things. They want to physically be fit and use it in some way. So when we are using a particular technique with a purpose to resolve something for a while, and only that particular type, we call it therapy. Okay. We better call it therapy. We call it meditation only when the person is interested to know the real self. Then only it is for the person, it will be called meditation. A person is not interested to know samadhi, enlightenment, go beyond life and death, and what is truth, what is my real self, what is meaning and purpose, the person cannot meditate. Persons should be given therapy.
Right.
Personally, many people come to learn yoga, or thousands, millions doing yoga. But they are not. They are interested in yogic therapy. Somehow, it should help them, support them to adjust with the environment and reduce the suffering for a while, not permanently delete it.
Correct.
Not a permanent solution, temporary solution, and in the filtered way of the same technique, a little dose. we call it therapy. So I will also call it meditative therapies rather than meditation. Meditation will work, I told you, unless a
Mm,
person is initiated. Unless
mm,
a person is initiated, initiation here means the higher has touched the person.
mm,
The beyond has given a touch, because once a beyond will give you a touch, you will never stop meditating.
mm.
Impossibility. You will
Yeah.
try to find a solution in all the way and you will never forget that touch.
Mm.
That's so
Correct.
unless we call it initiation. So
Mm,
if not there, person is not interested in meditation, so please don't teach therapy. We are not
mm.
teaching yoga. I am
No.
not teaching yoga to many people. I call it applied yoga therapy. I'm not teaching yoga. I said it, applying it. I know the things. I am applying it. So I said it applied yoga therapy, and fix anything you like, from your toes to your ego system. Even your intelligence can be repaired, because it's
Mhm.
all matter. So intelligence, your ego, your mind, your body, your memory, your senses, all is matter. All matter. And all can be repaired, restructured, refurbished. So I call it therapy, unless a person is really interested what is truth. With all this garbage jala, so many things happening in this world at the name of what is truth? What Jesus really talking about? What Buddha really meant with nirvana? When these questions becomes more important than your life, yes, then meditation. When it is not, you are looking for solution. It's I call it therapy,
Okay.
meditative therapies. So I categorize it. Yoga, no, applied yoga therapy. Meditation, no, meditative therapies. I can fix anything. I can change anything. Anything can be changed, from intelligence till your toes, till your genetic structure, your way of thinking, your ego structure, your design, anything you can change the way you like. But suffering will not end. Howsoever beautiful ego, I will refurbish it, but the suffering of instinct, fear of death, and self-preservation will not go. Your emotion, attachment, and abhorrence and hate will not go. For a while, refurbish it. For a while, it will change, but permanently will not be deleted. Unless you are initiated, means unless an enlightenment, samadhi, what is God, who am really I, becomes a very burning question, priority. Else, I will call it meditative therapies, because in Tantra, hundreds and 12 techniques. In Patanjali, every sutra there is a technique. What to do about it, what to, this kind of situation, what to do about what it is, and what to do about. So Patanjali will say ego. What is ego? What to do about. So he's a kind of mathematician, very logically, six classes. So he give you a word, each word he will define and then give a solution for it. This is his style. So I will rather call it meditative therapies. I will rather call it
Okay. Yeah.
healing. I will rather call it some assistance, spiritual assistance.
Mhm.
Meditation is very direct, no? Because if you are meditator, means you are ready to see your ego. You are ready to see your ego, howsoever painful it is. Your readiness is there in meditator, but in therapy, not there. Person not ready to see its own ego, not strength there. So here you apply therapy. Therapy means you are assisting a person to the spiritual evolution to bring it such a level that one day say, oh, I can meditate by myself. I don't need any support. I know meditation and I can solve it. So Malabika, I would rather say it healing, therapy, assistance, rather than calling it meditation. Classically, I am bound to talk about it because I'm keeping the structure of Patanjali
the
Yoga
lesson.
Sutras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I would rather call it, even I call it therapy.
Mhm.
I tell meditation also I teach, but basically mostly I'm using it as a therapeutic way. Like somebody has addiction, somebody has a mind of thinking groove continuously going on. If you say sit silent, watch your breath, be detached, doesn't work. With
Yeah.
person, it will not work. Person is not capable of meditation. So
Yeah.
here the person needs support. This support to make the person capable of meditation and independent, we call it therapy.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you for that clarity.
So here it is, and here we are. We have taken you more than 65 minutes, and we give you some time. Any one of you would like to say something?
Yes. Yes. No, it's beautiful to hear you talk, to hear you share.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm witnessing this, and at the same time, I just see how well the theme it's evolution, and Krishna Ji is really on the aspect of you while characterizing as well the process of evolution. And at the same time, when you shared your story, Malavika, you reminded as well the importance of the evolution as a way to get prepared for the evolution. And all I could think in my in my mind, I was just reminded of my own experience, as I am trying, with the desire to know myself. And that is very recent, maybe 1 year or 2 years ago. Then I decided to really take another approach and focus more on humility, as Krishnaji reminded that to be capable to always go back to zero. That's very important. To always, let me just take I always tell people the worst thing you can do in life is commit suicide. That's the worst thing you can do. But at the same time, the best thing you can do in life is kill yourself. And I mean by that, killing your identity, because that's the one creating problems. But yeah, coming back to just the experience I had, is I would just go there in meditation. I would be helped. I was by at that time. There's a group, maybe Krishnaji is still in. It's called Deep Dive into the Soul, and there were two ladies beyond their 50s who had their experiences. They had their epiphanies. They had a solid foot in the spiritual world, as seeker, integrated in that sense, a little bit, a little bit, because there always a lot of room for improvement. And they were guiding me, and I was getting fed just like the way I am getting fed right now by your sharings. You have walked this earth more than me. So I'm just listening and I'm getting fed. I'm getting power, you know. So I would listen and I would inquire, and I would share everything about my life. So they would help me just by sharing. They sent a lot of love, which was very beneficial, but they kept on reminding me the surrendering, that is very important. That should happen by itself in meditation. And every time I would come to that state in meditation, I would just hit the fear of death, right? During meditation, you go deep, and you feel there's that space where you start to break through. And the thing that would just come up right away was just the fear of death. That's all there is. After you go through, you entangle the thoughts, the emotion is just there, the fear of death, because you're going into a space that you're feeling you're going to live somewhere. And every time I had that fear, but at the same time, my ego system was not ready for it, because I would suffer from this greatly. I would say, oh, how is it possible? I'm not the one. All this nonsense that you tell yourself. It's almost even traumatic, which is why I decided to focus more on humility, because it just means that the way I'm perceiving the world and relating to the world is corrupted completely, because I cannot even take just this as a, as a sign of keep going there. I took it as a sign, oh, I need to stop, and I need to go suffer, which is true in that moment. But I just wanted to remind us that the point is, is at the same time, it's like this, you know, to enlighten yourself, you have to meditate and then concentrate. You meditate and then concentrate. And at the same time, you know, we have to live life. It's like Malabika said at one moment, you have to have, you need to live life, you know, and then after you have lived a little bit, you have built certain resilience, have a certain experience, then you're ready to go inside. But there's that importance really to serve others, right? Because as she said, you know, are we doing this for the self, which is always true, but also collective? And you realize, you know, whenever you get something, the power that you get and that you receive is not for yourself. It was never for you. So you have to find a way, like also when you feel a lot of love, you know, maybe, I don't know if you felt that way, but you have to let it out. You just have to tell the flower or tell the one you love that you love them, you know? And I feel it's the same a little bit. The moment you get enlightened, there's always, you know, the enlightened masters, they have disciples, right? There's always people looking for them, you know, because they are meant to also touch those lesser in that sense, to help them out. So that's what I wanted to say. I think I thank you. That's
very nice. I would like to say something. Yes, we have to understand that we are on sadhana path. Patanjali has Kavalya. Kavalya is for the people who have lived life completely, and now they have no desire to live. And for them, a different kind of talk. Samadhi, for the people who want to be immediately enlightened right now, is for them. Sadhana is the people, I will work. It will take time, I know. I relax. And I will slowly keep on working on myself. That is sadhana, which we are right now in. So I'm not talking about instant enlightenment. Just I talked about this Kavalya, involution, just to make you understand the terminology of Patanjali. But we are not going for involution. We are not dropping our desire to live. We are in the process of expansion. And in that process, we are learning to reduce our afflictions, to make it tone down, reducing it, not finishing it. Remember, reducing it. That's the sadhak. That's the meditator. He's happy if the afflictions are reduced. He is not cuckoo that he is not enlightened.
Very good. Thank you. Very helpful.
Well, now you know, I didn't have a question, but now you put a question in my hand, you know, about, okay, so for samadhi. I had no questions, and now you just instilled a question in my mind.
You don't know Hindi, otherwise you can come in my morning class. Samadhi is going on there. All India.
Okay. Yeah, that is a different course.
That's different. Here we are in sadhana. We are reducing our afflictions, recognizing them, and learning to reduce them, and how to be on path. And in the process of evolution, we are not involuting. We are in the process of evolution. We will get many siddhis, many power, and then after we will think about.
This is for people who are engaging with life.
Yeah.
Full-hearted, full throttle.
Engaging with it. So this is different. Sadhana is for almost everyone can come, provided 3 ingredients: surrendering to God, a desire to purify yourself, and to look within, to study, not be lazy.
Very good. Thank you.
Pavel is a tantric, so he sees everything different way.
He's yes, the one who will teach samadhi.
No. You mentioned Netra Tantra. Netra Tantra is one of the first courses we do with.
Yeah, Pavel did it. Yes.
Yes, and I think it's on the list, so you can also look at our discussions and check the meditation. There is a very powerful meditation there.
Very powerful meditation techniques. Even Yama is a very powerful meditation technique. All.
Yes. And so this is very interesting. And also the involution and evolution we discussed in 75 plus project. So we also create this project because the people who want to be want to live longer, some of them don't want to involute, and and this is the wisdom. Wisdom is how to change the power to change something into the power of understand something. Yes, the wisdom. Yes, and wisdom. Not to change anything around you and within you. Just to realize that everything around is perfect. It's perfect, and
Yep.
we
there is
work a
also,
lot.
yes,
I think
there
this is the Cavalier part you are talking about something. Or no, we were creating a course for the people who are 75 plus.
yes,
So
yes.
for
Which
them,
I
fully
will
different.
be in 3 weeks.
You welcome to our class,
Oh, you will
which we
be
have already
75 in
created.
3 weeks, Malabika.
In 3 weeks, yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow. You know,
Niranjan, he
I
will be,
really
I don't know
didn't
how,
think.
he will be 50 and I will be 75. Something like that. He's going, but next week is your birthday, right?
Mine is 14, yeah, 14 June.
14
So
June.
we,
Okay.
so you can check also this course 75 plus or Oasis.
Oasis. Yeah, I was going to
75
say
plus.
Oasis. No, I saw it.
Yes,
Oasis
and
75 plus, yes. In that, we have completely different technique for 75 plus people. Very different technique.
but
Very different.
one of the best is this motivation to live, but different motivation to live endless.
Yeah,
to
it's very technical. Cavalier. I introduced Cavalier first time to Pavel, Cavalier meditation direct, because we were working on 75 plus. Very interesting. People think it's a negative way, not negative at all.
Where is this Oasis?
It's in the main page. Where is?
There is a
Cavalier.
membership. If you buy a membership, all these courses are in your list, automatically going in library.
I thought I had a membership. Yes, I have a membership. I think. I'm not sure.
I don't know. No, membership, no. You have access to this live classes. Only live, not recorded. It's like we are doing it, all live classes going through the same app, like morning, evening, addiction. And anti-addiction is also very nice because somewhere we are addicted. Like somewhere we are addicted to some kind of thinking, addicted to some way of relating. Many ways we have habitual patterns. So we are working on that. Slowly, we will work in detail about addictions.
So for me, after all these courses, for me, meditation is like giving you the gate to the other reality. It's like this reality, you meditate, you go to the gate, and you through this gate, you go out. And this is another reality. And then I also read a lot of books about shamanism. All shamans have this kind of gate.
Yeah.
Gate to the other reality. And
to the path of involution.
It's involution and then evolution again. So it's like two pyramids, one above another. So you go, and this is you can call it zero, you can call it black hole, but within and it goes up. But the art of meditation is go this way and go back. And if you go correctly, you can make it your profession. Like shamans, they are all professional in this kind of trips. But it's not easy.
Pavel, I will say more. It's
Profession.
like a tuning, a knack, a tuning. Like channeling, we call it channeling. And at the same time, like there are many states of consciousness, and you learn to tune with one, like somebody predicting future, like fortune telling. If I have to come to the fortune telling mode, I will be a completely different person for that time, because I need to tune with that frequency. If I'm a meditator, I'm a different. I'm talking, it's a different person. So each one is a different vibration, different frequency, and one becomes proficient in, everyone is professional in its own profession. When it comes to tune, you know how to tune it.
Yes, the
Meditation,
tantric and Himalayas, they can invoke many gods, so they can get tuned to the some gods, and with mantras, with yantras, with I think it's like tuning. It's technology.
it's also frequency, a certain frequency.
Yes.
They are raising their frequency, and I'll get connected. So connected to this deity.
But you always have to have a reason to get connected. Otherwise, you will not be able to get the result.
Ritualistic invocation. Ritualistic invocation. You should have a ritual, and the ritual of invocation that gets you connected with a purpose, for sure. Without purpose, no. Without function, without work, you should not.
That's a very complex, domain, because I know a little bit about that, and you, Pavel, you probably know about astral projection, as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that is very complex. Listening to a lot of people's experience, having my own experience, realizing that also everybody's experience is symbolic to their own past experience, and also maybe future experience, makes it very, very complex.
That is a whole different universe, I think.
It's a whole different universe, but it's not. I just want to say this also from experience. It's not fundamental for the I mean, in a life, if you want to learn about it, but fundamental to the process of enlightenment. Well, it's not fundamental. That's a good thing, because you can get lost very easily in these realms with the domains, what you call gods, which are like consciousness, archetypes, and spirits, and all kinds of forms. That's a challenge as well.
We will not go there. We will go there once our sadhana is done and we go in Vibhuti. Siddhis, all kinds of siddhis, but miraculous siddhis. We will go there later. First, let's finish our sadhana, and we are coming to 8:22. We almost coming to the time, to 8:30. Anyone else? Chinu is not there.
No, I think he got dropped off because of his connection.
Chinu and Shiva. Okay. So, anything more? Malabika would like to say something?
No, not really, because I started with the soul, then I moved to the mind, then to the emotions, then I'm going to be talking about physical body experiences, because it all lands up here in the body. And how I see that whole transmission taking place from the awareness of the soul's purpose to the mind's playing, the thing that goes on in the mind center and the emotional center, and how it shows up in the body, and what are the wonderful things like yoga. Certainly, there are so many different ways to get the body tuned in to the purpose. And a lot of it I have learned from you. That's all. We'll probably take.
So, okay. So we are here, our story going forward. Meditation is meeting obstacles, and how to meet obstacles. One person who is burning desire, like Buddha, meet many obstacles, but he keep on crossing it. Somehow he reached, because so much burning desire. If burning desire is less, if surrendering to God is less, if self-study is less, you need therapy. not direct meditation won't work.
Yeah.
A meditation techniques. You need a therapeutic assistance. That's what I wanted to say. A tailored support, customized support for you in a situation. Yes, if you will come out of it, it's another matter. You become interested to become independent.
Correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
enjoyable.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you next
Namaste.
Friday. And this is the Malabika will sum up. Maybe you have to talk a lot. Maybe Malabika next time, Friday. And I don't know where the sutras will be going, how it is going. So let's talk about your achievement or some new things about your course of life, understanding, and how you are still going next time, next Friday.
Okay. I still have a body. That is my...
The CDs. That's the CDs.
Yeah, the CDs. Yeah.
CDs.
Thank you.